Because you can say anything you want to say, but the truth remains that in today's conversation, I want to show folks that it is possible to get a new LLC business loan for fair credit. How do you get up to $250,000 from a big national bank? So the stage is very clear. So you are a new LLC, you want a business loan up to $250,000 from a big national bank. I want you to stick around till the end of today's conversation. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweater Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee, or tea, or vodka, and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to talk to you about new LLC business loan for fair credit. How do you get up to $250,000 from a big national bank? So here are the steps. I'm just spilling the beans today. I'm very happy. I feel comfortable here. So first, let's focus on the lender. It's really important to choose the lender that you're going to apply with, okay? It's important. So you want to actually pick the bank where you currently have a checking account or a savings account. Why? Because they already know you. They've seen the ins and outs in terms of cash flows. They know your situation. They probably know you personally. You've been with them, okay? You probably have your direct deposit with them. So this is really important when you choose the lender, okay? I'm not saying you should not choose other lenders, but you want to start where everybody knows you. It's all about, it's your house. People know you here, okay? So if you were with Bank of America or a PNC or Chase or Bank or Wells Fargo or whatnot, you want to start there first, okay? And it is very important. You want to actually build a strong NPR, a strong relationship with the bank. Sometimes when we talk about strong NPR, people ask the question, what does that exactly mean? Well, it's very simple. You want to have a checking account, a savings account, and I'm talking about business and personal, okay? Because we are speaking about new LLC business. So the first thing you want to do is you want to open a business bank account in addition to your personal bank account, okay? And so the lender is going to look at the duration of the relationship. This is very important because the duration of the relationship will tell the bank, hey, here is a good person. He or she has never had any NSF events, any non-sufficient funds event, no overdraft, everything is clean. So you want to look at the credit products that the bank offers, because if you're going to pick a bank, you want to make sure they have the LLC business loan you are looking for, right? And you want to also look at the FICO score requirements they have, because the last thing you want is you want them to know that, hey, if you are 640, if you are 740, if you are 600, that the bank is okay with that. And that starts with a relationship. That starts with talking to the bank and knowing exactly what kind of FICO score they were working with. Now, I want to talk to you about legitimacy. That's the second thing you want to do. It's very important because I'm talking to you. You have a new LLC. My question to you is your LLC legit? Because you probably think, well, I have an LLC. Okay, that's kind of cool, but who cares? People actually form LLCs every single day, and they just dissolve the LLC the next year, the next day, or the next week, or whatnot. You want to legitimize the LLC. What does that mean? It means you want to pick the right legal structure, LLC, that is, but you have to seek your EIN, your employer identification number. Okay, I want you to clothe the LLC with all the accoutrements, with all the ingredients of a legit LLC. You want to seek your EIN, your employer identification number. You go on the IRS websites. Okay, you want to look for your state tax ID. So the thing is, you want to be compliant at the federal level, but also at the state level. So this is important. Okay, your business bank account, I spoke about that earlier, and ideally you want to open the business bank account for your LLC at the bank you currently are with. Okay, it's important. So you want to do everything from business address, phone, and fax number. Okay, if you're working from home, let's say you're a single member LLC, you're working from home, that's fine. But the thing is, you want to separate, you want to segregate your business's affairs with your personal affairs. And it's kind of cool to have, at least at the beginning, to have a business email. Nowadays, it's kind of easy. It's very easy, very cheap too. Okay. And you want to seek also a certificate of good standing from the state where you are located. It's important to see all these things are, let's say, painting a positive picture of your business, of your LLC. It's important if you're a new LLC, you need to have a certificate of good standing from the state where you incorporated, okay, where you registered. And things like annual reports, don't forget to also sign up with a registered agent, okay? You can do it yourself though, but our thing is, it's just a lot better to outsource that part of compliance so you can focus on your business, okay? Big decision time, boss. I'm talking to you, grandpa, grandma, cuz, niece, brother, sister, father, mother. I'm talking to you now. Is your LLC legit? Talk to me. Be honest with me. Don't try to razzle dazzle me with, I have an LLC, but it ain't really legit. It's not illegal, but it's also not legal. I mean, come on, let's just clear things up. You want to do everything from today to have a legit business. The third thing you want to do, if you are seeking a new LLC business loan for fair credit and you want to get up to $250,000 from a big national bank, you need to contact the bank. All right, whether it is PNC or Chase or Wells Fargo, Bank of America, you want to contact the bank or Citibank. So the thing is, you want to have a main contact at the bank. I'm talking about a person, a real person. Don't you tell me just say, well, I have emailed someone and they got back to me. No, you want to meet a real person. You want to know him or her by first name basis, on a first name basis, okay, whether it is a Joe or Jane Doe, whatever, it doesn't matter, but you need to know the person and they need to know you back also. See, this mutuality, this reciprocity, this sort of this win-win situation is good for you because it's going to lay the foundation you need to get the $250,000 new LLC loan that you need and deserve. Okay, start an ongoing conversation. You want to start a conversation and keep it ongoing. What I'm trying to say here is that you want to meet with that person, that rep, often. You want to go to the branch. You want to show him or her your financials, your annual reports. Here we are talking about a new LLC. So everything you do must be forecasted, must be projected. So we're speaking about projected financial statements. We are speaking about projected statement of cash flows, statement of income. We are speaking about projected balance sheet. We are speaking about projected statement of owner's equity. Those are really important things, okay? And don't nobody fool you. If anybody tell you, hey, you don't need that, this is really not helpful at all, because if you are a new LLC, you need to have some numbers, and you can't show actual numbers because you are new. Okay, so this is important. You want to get intel, so you want to meet with the contact as often as possible. You want to get intel of credit about the credit products the bank offers, not just the business loan, but what other products do they offer? Business line of credit, okay, commercial real estate and whatnot. Because the more you know about the bank products, the better. Okay, we're speaking about credit products here. So here is a winner strategy. Here is a winner strategy. First thing, you want to go to the bank. You want to have an appointment with someone, whatever, and you explain your goal. And you want to take that person's business card and you want to meet with them maybe twice a month. Let's say you want to get the loan 6 months from now or 3 months from now. You want to meet with that person twice a month. You want to show him or her your financials, anything about your company, so that you are preparing the ground. You are laying the foundation, as I said earlier, about you applying later on for that business loan. let's talk about the requirements. Okay, we are still having a conversation about new LLC business loan for fair credit. How do you get up to a $250,000 from a big national bank? Okay, here is an important thing. Every bank has requirements, right? When you go to Citi, you have a requirements. When you go to Bank of America, when you go to with Chase, when you go to PNC, what have you, you have requirements. Every bank has requirements, and sometimes the bank's requirements might differ depending on the state. So if you are in California or Oregon or Texas or Florida, you might have different requirements, right? So this is where you want to get intel about the requirements. What are the main requirements for business loan? Well, you have a credit scores. Some banks want to see you at fair credit personally. They also want to see you at around 75 on the business side, on the business credit score side. Okay, so they want you to have a Paydex index, a Paydex score of 75 at least. But if you're new, you don't have a Paydex score yet. Okay, so you want to know the requirements of the business loan. They might ask you in terms of years in business. They might say, well, we're cool with 2 years in business. But hey, listen. Banks traditionally are conservative. They are risk averse. So they want you to be in business for 2 years. But you can bypass that requirements by having the conversation with the rep. That's what I said earlier. That's the goal of going to the bank twice a month to establish that trust. And if you already have the strong relationship with them at the personal level, they know you already, they might actually approve of the loan. Okay, they might ask for a revenue requirement. You don't have no revenue. You're a new LLC. This is why, again, you want to prepare estimated forecasted financial statements, where you prepare a projected income statement. Okay, and you want to know whether the bank is accepting collateral or no collateral. This is important so you can actually protect the assets of the newly formed LLC. Okay, and sometimes they might ask you also they might ask about the industry of operations, because some banks do not fund certain industries. Okay, so if you are in a particular industry that the bank doesn't fund, you want to know right off the bat so you can actually orient your resources towards another bank. Okay, money, boss. Money. So if you want to get a $250,000 business loan for your new LLC, you need to know where the money is coming from the bank. You need to know the bank. You need to know how to qualify for that loan. And how to qualify means you need to know the requirements of the loan. I want to talk to you about the collateral, because I spoke about collateral, and basically all the hacks I'm giving you on this show, you can apply for an unsecured, in other words, a non-collateralized loan, business loan, okay, for your LLC. That's totally possible. However, there's a lot of work. Okay, so if let's say you have the resources at the personal level to collateralize the loan, that's fine too. Okay, but you want to know the collateral requirements, because the thing is, what? Josh, I can't hear you. Okay, yeah, no. See, the collateral is kind of cool, but that's what I was telling. That's what I was telling Paris lately. I spoke to her, and she has a business, and she has an LLC, and she wants to collateralize the loan, which is fine, but this is what I was saying. You need to know the collateral requirements, okay? You need to know the conditions of collateral waiver. In other words, if the bank says we want collateral, we want first lien, and all that kind of stuff, the bank is covering their ass. Okay, they're covering their ass, so you got to cover your ass too. And how do you do that? You want to pledge collateral that you are in a position to pledge. Okay, so if you can't pledge collateral, you want to ask for conditions of collateral waiver. That's what I was just saying earlier. Okay, and if you want to pledge collateral, what are the appraisal conditions? Because if the bank is going to accept, let's say, an asset as collateral, the bank wants to make sure the value, the book value, is actually in sync with the market value. There has to be synchronicity. Okay, and what types of collateral would the bank accept? We're talking about fixed assets, or we're talking about cash, short-term assets, or long-term assets. Okay, are we talking about equipment, machinery? Are we talking about office equipment? Are we speaking about cash, accounts receivable, and whatnot? Okay, and you also want to pay attention to the business asset management side of things, because if you are going to pledge collateral for your new LLC, you need to have a strong business asset management policy. It's important. So here is the approach. Here is the approach you need to follow. First, ask the bank if the loan is unsecured, if you can get it as on an unsecured basis. If they say no, well, they ask them what are the collateral requirements, okay? And then ask them what are the conditions of collateral waiver, okay? And so those are, and so what are the different types of collateral they might accept? And this is important so that you actually can cover your ass too, because hey, you don't want to pledge the wrong collateral. In other words, you don't want to pledge collateral that it's important for your business or is important for yourself. So pay attention to that. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweaty Kiwi Show. We are still having a convo about new LLC business loan for fair credit. How do you get a quarter of $1 million? Okay, that's the maximum amount in business loan from a big national bank. Now I want to talk to you about something called capacity. Okay, capacity is actually an important, a quintessential element when we talk about business credit. Why? Because the banks wants to make sure you are in a capacity to actually repay them. See, when you talk about a business credit or credit in general, you are speaking about a two-way game, right? And every party is trying to cover their ass. It's all about risk mitigation. You as a borrower want to mitigate the risk of default, and so is the bank. So there are a lot of ways you can prove to the bank that you indeed have the capacity to pay them back, even though you have a new LLC business, okay? And there are several ways you can do that. So first, through sales projections. Remember, I was telling you, you basically are new, so you have no sales or you have very few sales. So you have to project over 6 months, over 1 year, over 2 years or 5 years. And so the bank will look at your projected data, your projected sales data, to see if they make sense, okay? It's all about having realistic numbers. It's all about having realistic conditions, okay, or assumptions. You also want to have forecasted financial statements. So in addition to projected sales data, you want to have a full set of projected financial statements. We are speaking about a projected income statement, projected balance sheet, projected statement of cash flows, and projected statement of owner's equity. And all those elements, I want to repeat this, they must be in sync with your projected sales data, okay? And you also can actually think about ways to repay the loan, because that's what the bank is concerned about. They want to make sure that you see, because think about it, you're just a new kid on the block, right? You're a new kid on the block, you're a new LLC, you haven't proven anything yet. So you got to show the bank that you have ways to repay the loan. Your personal assets, for example. Personal assets can be an important element in showing the bank that, hey, listen, I have enough cash on the personal side. You know, I'm okay. We'll be okay. And you can probably also convince the bank or assuage you can allay their fears by actually saying, hey, you know what? We have signed up with top clients already. We might be new. We might be new kids on the block, but we are intent on kicking some ass, right? So basically, here are our top clients. Here are our top 5 clients. Those are Fortune 500 or Fortune 1000 companies or Dow Jones companies. So we intend to stay around for a time. So big decision time, boss. Big decision time. How are you going to prove to the bank that you have the capacity to pay them back? That's the $1 million question here. So when we speak about a new LLC business loan for fair credit, and you want to get up to $250,000 in loan from a big national bank, which by definition is risk averse, which by definition is conservative, you better have a strong game. You need to have a strong argument. The last thing I want to talk to you about is if you want to convince the bank, if you want to allay the fears, if you want to put them to rest, you put their fears to rest, that you can pay them back. You want to have a solid business plan. Oh yeah, boss. I'm talking to you about business plan. Okay, and don't you try to razzle dazzle me with some kind of templates you downloaded from the internet and you're just trying to customize it. You're trying to, like some cheap ass business loan. Get out of here, man. If you're those kind of person, I think you need to change that. Okay. I want you to write a compelling business plan. Forget about those obscure business plan you get from the internet. If you can't write a business plan yourself because you don't have the intellectual capacity, or you don't have the talent for it, or you don't have the interest in doing it, outsource the whole thing. There are a lot of platforms nowadays, starting from Fiverr to Upwork to TopTal to a freelancer. People will write a business plan for you, a professional business plan for you for $250 maximum, or even $100, and it's worth it. Because think about it, you are seeking a maximum loan amount, business loan amount of $250,000. So don't be greedy here. All right, it's only $100, and if you can't do that, you can actually subscribe to a software that actually writes a business plan for you. We have Enloop, we have a Live Biz, we have a Biz Plan, we have a Live Plan. Okay. So there are a lot of software tools there that automate the whole business plan writing thing. And in the business plan, you want to show your business vision in the short and medium terms. Okay. Nobody cares about your vision in 10 years. Your LLC might not even be here in 10 years. Okay. But in the business plan, you want to talk about your SWOT analysis, your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities and threats. I'm talking about your LLC, of course. Okay. You want to mention your key products and services. Okay. What are those products that are going to contribute to your revenue, to your bottom line? And it's always good to include in the business plan founder bios. Okay, we're talking about if you are by yourself, you want to put your resume, you want to explain to the bank why you are the right person for the job, and because your personal experience might be a great ingredient in the future success or failure of your business. So this is really important. Thank you so much for listening to today's conversation. I was quickly talking to you about new LLC business loan for fair credit. How do you get up to $250,000 from a big national bank? Okay. And I showed you the steps. So we talk about you want to consider applying for a business loan at the current lender, at the current bank where you are currently at. Okay. Trying to be legit. You want to paint a positive and legit picture of your business. You want to contact a rep at the bank. You want to study the requirements for the loan, the requirements of the loan. Okay. You want to ask if collateral is required or not, and if it is, you want to study the collateral requirements. Okay. And you want to actually make sure that you have the capacity to pay back the loan, because it's all about capacity anyway. And the last but not the least, you want to write a compelling, a fascinating business plan about your new LLC that talks about your vision and ways you are going to monetize the business model. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.